The video starts at 1 minute. Enjoy. What's good, guys? It's me, Gerald the Weep, here back again with another video. Okay, I'm a little sick. That's why I haven't uploaded in like almost 2 weeks. Yeah, I wanted to upload like last week, but yeah, that didn't plan out. I got sick over the weekend, so yeah. This will be a new what if. I had a what if with Belle a long time ago with Asta, but I never finished it because I didn't know what to do with it. So I'm gonna give Belle another chance. You should see the title. Yeah, he's gonna be an overlord. So I'll just get straight into the video. Leave a like, subscribe. Yeah, we already hit 1,000 subs. If you guys want to get to 2,000, it's up to you guys. I'll try to be more consistent. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Might have a little bit of low energy because, like I said, I'm sick. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And I'll also leave a timestamp where the video starts. Okay, peace out, guys. Enjoy the video. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna start off the story with season 4 Belle. So yeah, so this is going to be spoiler territory if you haven't watched Overlord or Damachi, or the long name. I don't feel like saying that long name. Yeah, so Belle is falling down after being hit off. Oh wait, what happened? I can't remember. Like he was falling down in level 24 25, and this is where he transports to Overlord. And just imagine this as nighttime. It's nighttime where Belle is, and he hit the ground and he says, "Oh, what the? How am I out? It looks like I'm outside." This is what Belle's saying. And he hears someone screaming like bloody murder. And he says, "What the?" And he starts to stand up and he says, "This isn't any of the levels I heard about. They didn't tell me about this." So he pulls out his unicorn dagger and he stands up and surveys the area. And he notices like he's at like some dark cult, like I forgot what it was in Overlord. Yeah, Belle's getting transported to Overlord, if you didn't know. Season 1. He got transported to, like, it's around episode 9 or 10. I forgot what it's called. There was, like, a dark, like, they were kind of like a cult, kind of. I forgot what they were called. Yeah, so he goes over and bends behind a rock, and he sees someone coming outside. Okay, my computer was acting up. So, okay, as this person was walking out, Belle notices it's a female walking out of this dungeon, and it's also with a priest too. And the priest says there's more than one of them. And Belle doesn't want to get into a conflict, but he seems like he seems that they're like doing some shady business, and he also doesn't want to get involved because he doesn't know where he is. He's just gotten transported to a different world. He doesn't know how he did it. He just wants to get out of that place and get to a civilization. And that the woman I'll just say her name, Clementine, points in Belle's direction, and she says to come out. She knows he's there, and Belle says he puts up his hands, and he still has his dagger out. It's on the back. It's in his back pocket. But it's like half unsheathed, so like just in case. And he says, I don't mean any harm. I just want to get to the quickest civilization. I don't know where I'm at. I was in a dungeon and then I was transported here. I have no business with you." And she says, "Bull crap. You're hiding something. How did you just get transported from a dungeon? You must have been doing something." And Belle says, "I don't know how I got transported." And she says, "How about you put down your weapons and then I'll trust you?" And Belle's like, and Belle says, "I don't want to. These weapons are very important to me. My comrades gave it to me. They wouldn't like it if I would put down my weapons." And she says, "Well then, we'll find your comrades and kill them too." And Belle says, "What?" And she charges right at Belle because like she's a villain. If you watch Overlord, you know who I'm talking about. And she charges right at Belle, and the priest also attacks Belle too. but Belle was able to dodge her dagger throws at him. She tries to aim for his eyes, but yeah, Belle barely dodges, and he kicks her, but she says, "Oh, that hurt a little, but it's not that bad." And she says, "You must be a stronger level." And Belle says, "Well, I'm a level 4, so." And Clementine starts laughing, saying, "You're a level 4. Get out of here with that bold-faced lie." She would say something a lot more violent, but I don't want to get hurt by YouTube. Okay, anyway, she says, "I'm just gonna gut you now." And Belle says, "That's very mean of you, to a very mean thing to do." And then someone else appears and he says, "Don't worry, young person, I'm here to save you." And it's Momon. And Momon appears. And with Fawn, I think. It's one of Ein's maids. I think it's Fawn, I think. Anyway, so they appear and they said, "Now it's a 3-on-2 battle. What are you gonna do now?" This is what Mamon's saying. And Belle says, "Thank you for helping me. She was trying to kill me." And Belle says, "We should probably bring her into the authorities." But Momon says, "No, we're not doing that. She's she killed our comrade. We're gonna have to kill her." This is what Momon is saying to him. But this Momon is basically Ain's. And Belle says, "We shouldn't have to kill them." And Vaughn says, "Stop disrespecting Momon." And Belle says, "I wasn't trying to be disrespectful." And Clement, yeah, she just starts attacking again. She says, "Stop with the chit chat. I'm right here." And Belle just he jumps in the air and uses a firebolt. And it lands a direct attack on Clementine. And she gets burn marks all over her legs. And he says, "Oh, geez, I didn't know it was that powerful." And she kneels down on one knee. And she says, "You got lucky with that shot." And she then throws another dagger. And the priest also attacks. I think his name was Fuji or Kanaji or something. I can't remember. He attacks the woman that was accompanying Momon, or I think it's Fawn, I think. She then separates herself from the battle. And Ain's just was like, "Oh, this is a lot more easier than I thought." And he doesn't say his name's Ain's. He just walks over to her, and she tries to stand up, but the burns Belle did to her legs is not allowing her to stand up. And Momon walks over there, and he gives her a bear hug, and Belle says, "Is that like a ceiling you're trying to do? Are you a magic user?" And Momon says, "You should look away." And Belle says, "You shouldn't have to kill her. It's not none of my business, but I don't know. It just seems kind of wrong." And Momon says, "Just imagine her killing one of your best friends." It's just like that. And Momon just is just telling a lie. They weren't really his friends. He was just using them. And he said like they were gutted and stabbed in their chest and back by this woman. And she says, "Let go of me." And she starts stabbing Momon in the eye. And Belle says, "Are you alright?" And he says, "It doesn't hurt me." And he starts to squeeze her to death with a bear hug. And Belle is watching this, and he's like in horror watching this. He says, what the heck is that? How's he doing that?" And he says, "This is what pain feels like. Remember that." And Clementine starts laughing, saying, "You're a level 4. Get out of here with that bold-faced lie." She would say something a lot more violent, but I don't want to get hurt by YouTube. Okay, anyway, she says, "I'm just gonna gut you now." And Belle says, "That's very mean of you, to a very mean thing to do." And then someone else appears and he says, "Don't worry, young person, I'm here to save you." And it's Momon. And Momon appears. and with Fawn, I think it's one of Ein's maids. I think it's Fawn. I think. Anyway, so they appear and they said, now it's a 3-on-2 battle. What are you gonna do now? This is what Mamon's saying, and Belle says, "Thank you for helping me. She was trying to kill me," and Belle says, "We should probably bring her into the authorities," but Momon says, "No, we're not doing that. She's she killed our comrade. She's going. We're gonna have to kill her." This is what Momon is saying to him. But this Momon is basically Ain's. And Belle says, "We shouldn't have to kill them." And Vaughn says, "Stop disrespecting Momon." And Belle says, "I wasn't trying to be disrespectful." And Clement, yeah, she just starts attacking again. She says, "Stop with the chit chat. I'm right here." And Belle just uses, he jumps in the air and uses a firebolt. And it lands a direct attack on Clementine. And she gets burn marks all over her legs. And he says, "Oh, geez, I didn't know it was that powerful." And she kneels down on one knee. And she says, "You got lucky with that shot." And she then throws another dagger. And the priest also attacks. I think his name was Fuji or Kanaji or something. I can't remember. He attacks the woman that was accompanying Momon. Or I think it's Fawn, I think. She then separates herself from the battle. And Ainz just was like, "Oh, this is a lot more easier than I thought." And he doesn't say his name's Ainz. He just walks over to her, and she tries to stand up, but the burns Belle did to her legs is not allowing her to stand up. And Momon walks over there, and he gives her a bear hug, and Belle says, "Is that like a ceiling you're trying to do? Are you a magic user?" And Momon says, "You should look away." And Belle says, "You shouldn't have to kill her. It's not none of my business, but I don't know. It just seems kind of wrong." And Momon says, "Just imagine her killing one of your best friends." It's just like that. And Momon just is just telling a lie. They weren't really his friends. He was just using them. And he said like they were gutted and stabbed in their chest and back by this woman. And she says, "Let go of me." And she starts stabbing Momon in the eye. And Belle says, "Are you alright?" And he says, "It doesn't hurt me." And he starts to squeeze her to death with a bear hug. And Belle is watching this, and he's like in horror watching this. He says, what the heck is that? How's he doing that?" And he says, "This is what pain feels like. Remember that." He's saying that to Clementine, not Belle. And Belle's like, "Oh my goodness." Yeah, he starts to throw up a little bit after seeing that. And Momon looks back at him, or Ainz. He says, "Was this your first kill or something? You only helped me. You didn't actually kill her." And Belle is like, "I'm sorry, I really need to go." And Momon says, "Hold up. You wait a minute." And he says, "You said you're a level 4, but you're way stronger than a level 4. I think you might be a level 40. I think that's how strong you are. Can I see your status?" And Belle says, "No. I just want to get out of here. I need to get to the nearest town. I need to find my goddess." And Ein says, "Your goddess. Who's this goddess you speak of?" And Belle says, "Goddess Hestia. Have you ever heard of the other goddesses or something?" I didn't ask. And Ein says, "I don't know anything about these goddesses you speak of. This Hestia, what are the some other ones? Maybe more better ones. Maybe I can remember." And he names off Loki and all the others familiars. And Ainz doesn't know anything about them because they're in a different world. And Ainz then makes a theory, and he says, "You might be from the past or from the future. I don't know." And Belle says, "What do you mean? Where's the dungeons in Ontario?" Do you know where that's at? And Ein says this is I can't say Ixariel. Ixariel, I think. Oh my goodness. And Bell never heard of this city, so he says, "No way. Am I traveled to the future or past? This can't be. What happened to my guildmates?" And Ainz is very curious about this Bell person because Bell doesn't seem like he's a player because Ainz comes from a world where he was transported through the game, and yeah, Bell's just transported normally. And Ainz says, "I could help you get back to your world, maybe." And he says, "But you will have to help me in my endeavor. You'll have to swear your loyalty to me." And he says, "My name is Eyes Gon. Will you swear your loyalty to me?" And Bell says, "I swore my loyalty to Lady Hestia. I don't know if I could do that. It'll be very disrespectful to my goddess." And he says, "Well, how? Well, you're never going to get back there. You need my help. Have you ever heard of?" He says, "6-tier magic." And Bell says, "6-tier magic? What is that?" Bell doesn't know anything about like magic like that. He says, That's how you'll be able to get home. But you'll have to help me in my endeavor." And Bell says, "I don't have any time though. My guild members." He says, "Trust me. If you, I'm pretty sure you seem like you're capable. Your teammates should be capable. They probably already escaped that dungeon you speak of." And I just surveyed all around the area using my summonings. There's no dungeons around here, so you're most definitely from a different teleporter. And Ainz also mentions, have you visit this location of Nazarick before? Because he thinks Bell came from Nazarick when he was teleported. This is what he was thinking. That's basically Ain's home. And Bell says, "No, I was just in the Artario dungeons. I just can't believe like I'm in some different world." And he says, "Can we just? I'll just follow you. I'll." He doesn't really swear his loyalty. He says, "I'll help you in any way I can if you help me get back to my home." And Ein says, "Okay, deal. Well, first we have to go and take over a country first." And and Bell's screams and he says, "Take over a country? What are you on about?" And he says, I'm gonna get rid of this disguise." He was talking in the Momon disguise, and he says, "It's me. I'm the person who's gonna be taking over a kingdom and building it under me." And yeah, he shows his true face. And Bell says, "Oh my goodness, you're another skeleton person. I know a person that is also immortal and that is a skeleton." And Ainz also gets more interested in this. He says, "How did he become a skeleton?" And they're walking over to the church where the other priests are, and Fawn already dealt with them, so that's why she's like already inside looking for the person they're looking for. I'll get to that in a minute. And Bell explains, I think he was human, and then he was experimenting on on magic, and then he became a skeleton, an immortal skeleton. And Ein says, "I need to learn more about that person. If we ever get to that world, you have to show him to me." And Ein's got another idea that maybe he could take over that world too, maybe. But he's a lot more worried because he says there's goddesses and gods in that world. So he says maybe they're probably too overpowered. And Ainz also asked as they were walking, so do they have powers too? And Bell says they lose all their power because they left heaven, but they could probably still use it. If they're in heaven, I don't know, no one can defeat them. But if they're on Earth, then they can be defeated. And Ein says, okay, so they're formidable foes. How many goddesses and gods are there? He says there's hundreds of them. And Ainz didn't change his mind about not trying to attack that world where Bel comes from. If there's like 100 goddesses and stuff, and he doesn't know if they could use like other types of magic or tier magic. So he just wants to help Bel and get more information out of him from that world. And as they walk by, he says, "Okay, there, we found him." And the person they founded was a person that helps with magic. He makes magic items for the future seasons of Overlord. I forgot his name. I couldn't get a picture of him, but you know who I'm talking about if you watch Overlord. They had to go save him because Clementine kidnapped him. And he says, "This is Bel. He'll be your bodyguard from now on." And he says, Bel then asks, "You're Ainz, right? So what do I call you? So just for short." And he says, "Ainz will do, or Mr. Ainz." And he says, "You'll be going back with him to their village." And Bel says, "Oh, fine. I don't have no other choice. But please help me get back to my world as soon as possible." He says, "I'll promise you that." And Bel then walks with the other person, and Ainz transport them to a village. And he says before they were transporting to pass me the experiment thing. Experiment, I forgot what it's called. I'm pretty sure he was experimenting with medicine, and he passed it to Ainz. And Ainz says, "You're almost there. Good job." And Bel and him transported. And the day after the original incident, yeah, sorry for the bad edit. Bel wakes up and he then goes up to the wall where I forgot what's the name of the village they live in, but you'll know if you watch season 1 of Overlord and season 3 too. I'll remember the name for the next part because the next part will be about where they're located and what you'll see for the next part when I make it. Anyway, so Bel looks over and he says, "This is not like Ontario at all. There's no big dungeon. There's just so much open land. This is most definitely a different place. It's not on anything else on the continent where I come from. It's different." And he says it's a lot bigger too. And Envy is basically a chief. She'll become a chief very soon, and she also commands goblins also. But you see that from the next part. But anyway, she goes up to him, and the boy I was talking about earlier, I still can't remember his name. I tried to look it up because so his name can pop into my head, but it's not popping up in my head. But he basically makes medicine for Ainz. And her little sister, Enri's little sister, Iman, I think. And there's also there's two redheads too. One is Ain's maid, which I can't say her first name. I'll just go by her last name, Beta, I think. And the other one is is a swordsman, kind of. And they all go up there, and she asks, "How are you from a different world?" Ain's told me. And he says, I was fighting in a dungeon, and a moss creature attacked me, and I started falling off a waterfall. And then I ended up here, in this world. I don't know how I even got here. It's different from Ontario. There's no goddesses in this world. It's just, they're all dead, probably, right? And they give a better response than Ainz because Ainz didn't know that much about the world. He says, "Yeah, every goddess or gods are all already dead and perished. You can only get their blessings." And Bel says, "Hopefully this isn't the future. That means my Lady Hestia has passed away. Hopefully that isn't true." And he says Ainz was going to help me. And he says, hopefully he can get to me very soon. And he leaves out the part about taking over the country because Ainz told him not to say anything about that. He says, hopefully you guys can help me get through, help me too, and I'll help you back with the village chores and everything. And oh my goodness, I forgot. Okay, Ain's maid has to keep a watch on him because she doesn't know how powerful he really is because his powers are not seeable. That's what Ainz is telling them. He doesn't know how strong Bell is because his power. You can only see his power through Lady Hestia through his back. So his powers are basically what they technically would see is infinite, but they know he's not infinite. Yes. So Bell says, "Okay, well, it's time to get to work." And then he sees goblins, and he's like, "What the heck? There's goblins." And she's and oh my goodness, Henry then says they're good goblins, and he says this world is so much different from mine. We can't even get to coexist with other monsters like that. And they said that it's basically the same here, but luckily they're good ones. And she says she trusts them, and they trust her. And Belle says, "I wish I could be just like you, being able to communicate with goblins, and they're not attacking you. This is very interesting." And Belle then for the next 2 weeks to 3 weeks, or about a month, he helps around the villages and helps them improve with traps and stuff. And Bell is starting to become very impatient. He was already agitated because he had to wait to get help from Ainz, but Ainz says he keeps replaying the fact that Ainz is going to take over a country. And he says, I have to wait until he takes over a country? How long is that going to take? And then fire started to rain down on the village where he was at. And it attacks one of the watchtowers. And Henry then asks for Belle's help to get everyone to safety. And she also asks to get all the golems and golems ready for an attack. A prince of Altaria is attacking. And that's where I'll be leaving off for this part. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know I sound a little sick, but I'll go into more details after the battle, what's going to happen. So I jumped a couple of weeks into the future, so basically it's now season 3. Technically, I jumped it a couple of weeks into the future. And Bell is is very impatient and also very angry. He's not angry at the villagers. He's angry at Ainz because Ainz said he was going to help him. And Bell also now thinks that his party is probably dead. That's what he's starting to think because it's been like 3 weeks and they haven't contacted him, or at least he hasn't been able to feel where they're at. So you figure out what happens to Bell, and hopefully you guys like this series because I'm gonna be uploading it next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And then I'm going to make a new series with Gone with I think it's about if he has solo leveling. I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. When that anime comes out, I'm gonna watch it, then make that part. It depends on when the anime comes out. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll try not to sound sick next time. I should be good next week. I just need to make a video because I'm not being consistent. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Hopefully guys, yeah, I keep saying the same thing over. Okay, peace out, guys. Please don't. Just go. Just go.